Hey, is that better? Is that better? Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I assume you guys can hear me? Son of a mother. My son was hitting the buttons before. You guys can hear me now? Oh, come on, man. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, man. You guys can hear? Hello? Hello? Now it's good. Son of a mother. Thank you. My son, I forgot an hour ago he was in the studio with me and he was playing with my audio mixer, and I remember, now that you guys are calling me out, I remember him pushing buttons, and I just forgot to check that. Gosh darn it. All right, cool. So what was I saying on that recap? I was saying we got screwed, I feel like, a lot. Twins had a runner on third with no outs. Couldn't get a run in. Mariners had bases loaded in the second or third. We lose that one on the hook. I was talking about how I took a lot of satisfaction out of cashing Martin Perez. I got absolutely roasted for that pick. And, like we talked about, game log would have scared you off that pick, but game log's not everything. So, man, that audio thing, that's brutal stuff right there. Anyways, Nestor Cortez, easy, absolute easy cash right there. They needed length from him. I thought even if he was having a semi-bad outing, they would leave him out there. Severino only went 2 innings the day before. They needed him to go ahead and soak up some innings. So, yeah, I thought that was an easy bet. And then Braves, Jays, Guardians, Moneyline Parlay added that one. That's the reason why we're down 1 unit on the day. The Jays couldn't come through against a depleted Royals roster. By now, everybody knows their vaccination status and the players that they're missing, not bench players, or role players. They're missing starters and Dozier and Benintendi and Merrifield and Taylor. They're missing key players, so that was a big shock right there. So, and then we actually added a couple arbitrage dollars to it as well. We used a golf profit boost that I've never given out golf bets, but we don't let profit boosts go away. We'll take any amount of money we can for free, and then we'll just stash them in our arbitrage money, and hopefully, obviously, then flip it and make a nice big cash right there, and then we can eventually, hopefully, add some money to our money. And then one of the other things I said, man, we're not 6.76 units. I got a little fat fingers. It's 6.67 units. I did tweet that, but got lazy here and trying to just put together a show. It's 6.67 units. Is what we are to the good. Man, recap was a lot cooler when I was muted. I expanded a lot more. The recap, damn, that's a shame. All right, let's go ahead and get on into these bets. First, let's go ahead and start off with I didn't even take a screenshot of these. Hold on. Let's I completely forgot. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot. Let's talk these NASCAR races here for a second. I've, of course, got the comment section up. We've been doing these shows live all week. Obviously, really thankful that Nick and S Money chimed in. That would have been an entire show of just a botched entire show. So I appreciate you guys. First, let's talk about this NASCAR show. I'm not going to expand on these picks. We actually talked about these yesterday, or hell, we actually made these bets live on yesterday's show. And then right after I get done with this show, I'm going to hop on the Highline podcast and break down this race, and I'm going to do it live, so if you want to just hang back with me, it'll take me about 5 or so minutes just to, create the event. But otherwise, it's going to be pretty much immediately. So we'll talk about these 3 drivers and why I like these matchups on the Highline podcast. But I like Almirola over Cindric, -135. Logano over Truex at -115. And I like Bell over Byron at -110. I got all 3 of those bets over at DraftKings. DraftKings is far and away usually the best sportsbook for NASCAR bets. So, yeah, we'll talk about those there a little bit in the Highline podcast. Got the ambetter 301 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, so look forward to that. Good time to practice some lip reading. Yes, all right, that was brutal. All right, let's go ahead now, move it over to these baseball bets. Let's talk about these. Let's talk about these baseball bets. All right. I'm so excited to talk about these baseball bets. Again, I've got the comment section up. You guys are sitting there. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what some of your leans are. Let me know what some of your best bets are. And we'll do it. All right, so this first bet here, we've got White Sox Twins, F5 over 4.5 runs. Why do I like this bet so much? Well, Twins are going ahead and throwing out Smeltzer on the mound. White Sox have some familiarity with him, but the White Sox, they're not crushing left-handers, but they're in the top 10. So they're certainly on an upswing in terms of what their numbers look like in terms of hitting left-handers. No big surprise. More times than not, when you look up the stats, that's what the White Sox do, is they crush left-handers. So obviously think the White Sox will more than contribute to hitting this over 4.5 runs. And then from the sake here of the Twins going up against Michael Kopech, well, Michael Kopech just faced, these Twins, I think it was 2 starts ago, if I recall correctly. And I think he gave up 4 runs over 6 innings. Let me go ahead and pull it up. This whole week I hadn't been writing down my notes as much just because of the childcare issues. I've been doing, he went 4.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 home runs. It may not be that ugly. You can't get much uglier than that, but he's going to give up runs for sure. You add that in with the team of the White Sox that are hitting left-handers at the clip of which they're hitting left-handers right now. Yeah, sign me up for that F5 over all day long. So I like that bet right there. The next one I like is the Rangers F5 team total. Guys, who's got the number 1 batting average right now versus left-handers? Does anybody know who's got your number 1 batting average right now versus left-handers? That would be your Texas Rangers. So obviously love how they're absolutely swinging a hot bat right now versus left-handers. If you go ahead and pull up the card here versus Robbie Ray, I just want to get the date on this one is what I want to get the date on. I don't want to be wrong when I give out the actual date. But this bet cashed against Robbie Ray very, very recently. They faced him. Okay, maybe it wasn't too recently. Anyway, it was back in April. They got the 2 runs in the first 5 innings. So this bet cashed in April. They were not hitting left-handers back in April. What they were, I always like to look up that, right? If something cashes or doesn't cashes, I like to compare the 10 days prior to that versus the current 10 days. And again, they're number 1 in left-handers. They're bringing power to the plate and slugging. They've got a great on-base percentage in the top 3 versus left-handers. So give me an extremely hot team there in the Texas Rangers versus left-handers against a pitcher that they've got familiarity with. They've already cashed this bet with this season. Love it right there. So we'll go ahead and do the Texas Rangers team total, F5 team total that is, over 1.5 runs at -125. This bet here, the next couple, probably no surprise. You guys know this one fits right into my wheelhouse of a system. You've got Patrick Corbin taking on Ian Anderson. These guys just faced each other 5-10 days ago. They weren't on the same. They didn't pitch in the same game. One pitch Friday, one pitch Saturday. A lot of success. We've already know the success that the Braves have had against Patrick Corbin. They light him up. They got 4 runs against him on Saturday, July 9th. When they went up against him on April 12th, he only went 2.2 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits and 6 runs. We've talked about this bet before because we've cashed it. We've taken the Braves against Patrick Corbin. They just have phenomenal numbers over his entire career since he's made the move over to the Diamondbacks and he's been a member of the Nationals. The Braves have just hit him hard. So you add in, obviously, love that familiarity, love that success, and then you add in Ian Anderson. He gave up 2 runs and 5.1 innings pitched on Sunday. Everybody knows that's a system play for me. I'm not expecting Ian Anderson to be able to reproduce that 5 days later. So 2 easy no-brainer bets, doing the Braves F5 team total over 2.5 runs at -125. Then doing that Braves versus Nationals F5 over 5 at -105. 2 no-brainers. And then if you jump there to the bottom, you can see that I also did a same-game parlay from that game. Anderson under 4.5 Ks and Corbin under 5.5 Ks. Corbin, let's do him first. 5 days ago, he only got 4 strikeouts. And back in April, he only got 3 strikeouts. And he's not a big strikeout guy really to begin with. Another start in July against the Marlins, he was only able to get 4 strikeouts. Again, the Braves just absolutely crushed Corbin. So this bet's cashed in 2 starts already this season. Love him staying under 5.5 Ks. And then therefore, Ian Anderson, he got 5. He got 5 Ks back on Saturday. But it's a system play for me. Not expecting him to be as successful today on the go-around. So at +184 to do a nice same-game parlay, I love that one right there. So sign me up for that one. Let's go ahead and now move it over to the next one there. We got Cole Irvin Cole Irvin under 3.5 Ks. And then you got Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks. I don't think we need to explain the Zach Greinke piece. You guys know we've been playing that, and it's been a parlay piece for us. It's again juicy again today for the obvious reasons because we know the success rate of Greinke staying under 1.5 walks. Even his last outing, got a walk in the first inning, and then he didn't give up another walk the rest of the game. Guy just has absolutely incredible command. So that's a parlay piece. I'll be dumping that in a parlay piece till the cows come home. And then for Cole Irvin, look, this guy's K percentage has just been declining over the seasons. It was 9.8 in 2020. It was 6.3 in 2021. And it's down to 5.8 so far in 2022. He's already gone up against the Astros. He faced the Astros back on June 1st, got 2 strikeouts, Oh, and he just faced the Astros 5 days ago, and once again, he only got 2 strikeouts. So again, clearly not expecting him to be anywhere near successful than, 5 days ago. And even if the first time he faced the Astros this season, when they hadn't seen him this season, they had seen him last season, but they hadn't seen him this season, he only got 2 strikeouts. We know the Astros are one of the better teams in terms of not striking out. We know their success versus left-handers. Easy no-brainer parlay. I mean, just 2 things that I absolutely love in terms of Greinke and Irvin and the Astros. Yeah, so no-brainer parlay right there. So, and that one comes in at plus 158. So is that all the bets? The Twins, the Rangers, Braves, Irvin. Oh, then Montgomery. Let's go ahead and talk Montgomery here of the New York Yankees under 4.5 strikeouts at plus 115. It just struggles against the Red Sox, quite frankly. Faced them on Saturday, so another play. I had so many plays today that fell into my system. Research alone and analysis alone fell into what I personally love to handicap in baseball. He just went up against the Boston Red Sox on Saturday, on July 9th, and got 4 strikeouts in that game. Went 5.2 innings pitched. He was actually pitching really stinking good in that game. He got into a little bit of trouble, and Boone gave him a quick hook. I love taking Yankees players under. Obviously, I know I took Cortez over, but that was a little bit different scenario, right? Reds struggling versus left-handers. They needed some length out of a starter. Those 2 things aren't in play today. Boone goes to his bullpen quick. He's always done that his entire time at the New York Yankees, and especially this season when they've got the top bullpen in all of baseball. He's just going to it quick. So, yeah, he got 4 strikeouts again on Saturday, and he also faced the Red Sox back in April. He only got 4 strikeouts in that game. He only lasted 3.1 innings pitched. The Red Sox hit Montgomery hard. They've owned him over his career, and Red Sox are still really doing really good versus left-handers. So, yeah, like that right there. They're not a high strikeout team versus left-handers. A lot to like right there. So Jordan Montgomery under 4.5 Ks at plus 115. So that'll round it out. So I think we've got an outstanding card. I really, really love it. I'm super optimistic and super hopeful that, we can go into money-making weekend and everybody can have themselves a nice profitable night. I'm really in love with it. And then you can see right there on that tweet, it does say free roll attached. Mentioned there on that recap, we've got $4.95. I went ahead and spent that on a 3-leg money line parlay. It's Dodgers, Guardians. Let me go to my Twitter account. What was that third team I put in there? Dodgers, Guardians. Dodgers for obvious reasons. They've got all the advantages today up against the Angels. Angels are just struggling. Brewers. Was one of the plays I mentioned yesterday in Rapid Fire. I liked the Brewers. Well, they had the same advantages from the bullpen. They decided to rest Hader yesterday. We kind of mentioned how he'd been hit-hitting. Well, it looks like they gave him kind of a mental break and gave him the day off, and Devin Williams got the save yesterday. So, okay, give me a rested Hader. Hopefully maybe he's going to come back strong. They've got the offensive advantage. We talked about yesterday how Giants have been struggling versus right-handers. They're still absolutely struggling versus right-handers. And Woodruff is a drop-off from Corbin Burns, of course, but he's not that big of a drop-off from Corbin Burns. So that's how I spent my $4.95. That's, of course, a free roll. If that loses, you won't see that on Daily Recap because that $4.95 was never added to the bankroll. So, yeah, that is what it is. It's called a free roll. And we're, of course, using free money. So let me hop in the comment section, and then, of course, we'll do rapid fire over here. We'll see what we got. Yeah, lip reading. I can't believe I did that. That Twins also, to go along with losing that play last night, obviously they had that runner on. The third inning was obviously the inning where they wasted that opportunity. But through 2 innings, they had 6 hits. I mean, they were hitting Cueto. Just couldn't quite get the hit. The timely hit the drive-in runs, unfortunately. So, yeah, Twins are still swinging a hot bat. I mean, I love that play today. Absolutely love that play today. So, we've got Harold saying that the Cardinals starter K over. They're playing the Reds. They're a good strikeout team. I just don't know what his numbers are, nor do I know what his number is. Obviously, you can see I've played several strikeout props, so it was definitely a market that I researched a lot today. Obviously, maybe didn't quite look into him extensively, but maybe we can do that. Or if you're already on it, man, good luck. Hope that cashes for you. Any Wells bet still at 4.5. Yeah, I saw that. The Rays aren't a high strikeout team right now. That's what kind of made me nervous is they've kind of settled down on their strikeouts. Yeah, I was trying to work in a Wells bet, but I thought I was going to be forcing it. So, I don't like to force bets. I don't like to throw stuff on the wall to see what sticks. I like to bet into good betting spots. Not quite a betting spot. Trust me, I feel you, Nicholas. I didn't want a Wells start to go by. I thought we've really pushed the right buttons with him, but it felt like more of a reach today than betting into a good spot. So I actually, if I was going to take him, instead of taking under 4.5, I think you take over 4.5. If you want to bet Wells, I think you take his over, which I'm not scared to do, right? I mean, hell, we faded Mitch Keller to the cows come home, but twice we've taken his over prop. So if the situation calls to switch it up on a player, I'll switch it up. But the Rays just aren't quite striking out like they've been majority of the season. So, yeah, hate to see it go by. Hopefully it cashes for those people that decide to, cash it. My son was screaming at me there for a second. He should be taking a nap. Doesn't sound like he is taking a nap. We got S Money saying DK changed Anderson to 3.5 and Corbin to 4.5. Still take the bet. What, Noah? Okay, guys, give me 10 seconds. I'll come right back. Give me 10 seconds. I apologize. What's the question? All right, here we go. There's a reason that dropped. There's a reason both those numbers have dropped. People have been hammering the under, but they've been hammering the under for good reason, and there's a reason why I bet it. Is that a good play? Let me look. Yeah, I mean Anderson got 3 Ks against the Nationals the first time he faced them. The Nationals are not a strikeout team. I would say, I don't know, man. The numbers, it's probably stay away. Unfortunately, it's probably a stay away. Yeah, it's probably a stay away. Unfortunately, man. I don't want to say yes, just so you're like tailing my bet. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, man. I wouldn't do it. What's up, Brian? Welcome to the thing. Welcome everybody else as well. Feeling good about tonight. I'm feeling good. Brian's feeling good about tonight. Yeah, feeling good. He says, "What about the Yankees?" Is Brian's question. They're taking on Boston. I prefer Boston in this matchup. Eovaldi has had the Yankees number. Montgomery has not had the Red Sox. If I'm gun to the head, if anybody's forcing me to make a bet, I'm betting on the Red Sox today. I'm not betting on the Yankees. So, no. Don't like the Yankees. The Twins made me sick. Yeah. How do you feel about the Diamondbacks' first 5 over? That's a question we've got here. Let's see. How do you feel about Diamondbacks' first 5 over against Yu Darvish? Nope. Yu Darvish's home and away splits. His home splits are really, really good. So, not a piece I would take. And I remember looking up the Diamondbacks because I was curious if they were still hitting right-handers. They're not like they have been. To give you the exact number, they're 17th in hitting, so they've cooled off. I wouldn't look to back the Diamondbacks with how strong Darvish is at home. His home splits are really nice. So, and then another question: we've got Twins Guardian first 5 over. Man, no, just back if you want to back one of those two teams, just back the Guardians. Don't try to add in the Tigers. Harold says over 3.5 plus money for that Cardinals starter against Philly and 5 against D-backs. Oh, he had 4 against Philly, had 5 against D-backs. Cool, man. Bet it. Sounds like a nice bet maybe you found. So let's go whatever that guy's name is. Let's get a good cash right there for you guys. All right, I'll go ahead and of course leave up. Let me go ahead and throw up those NASCAR bets for maybe anybody that joined late. Those are the NASCAR bets. If you're joined late, probably like 5 minutes after I do this, I'm going to hop on the Highline podcast. It won't be with William. It'll just be with myself. It's been brutal, it seems like, this summer for our schedules to team up, and I know I'm a fault that, like this week not having childcare, it's certainly, I have to take a fair amount of that fault. So it will just be me on the Highline Podcast. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. No problem, Brian. Let's go ahead and get into this rapid fire here. Missed my rapid fire by one leg last night. I sit here and talk about how on fire I was, and then I pushed it. Jason, on fire. Yeah, man. I made 6 legs. I had been getting on fire with my rapid fire parlays, doing 3 or 4 legs. Yesterday I pushed it. I did 6 legs, and like a lot of parlays in life, you only miss it by one leg. I only missed mine by one leg. So I'm going to make another one today because I still have a huge amount of profits gained up from this recent hot streak that I've been on. But I'm going to stick it to 3 legs. I'm not going to push it. I want to win. I want to get back to winning. So, all right. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and jump into this rapid fire. We've got the Phillies and Marlins over under of 6.5. Phillies plus 155. Marlins at minus 180. I've kind of just said it enough. I just hate backing the Marlins with Alcantara just because he has to be perfect. And this is not a good team to, if you're not perfect, the Phillies will absolutely rock you. They've obviously got familiarity. Alcantara can certainly mow right through them, as he can any opponent. But he's just got to be too daggone perfect because that offense is not good. So I would just take the Phillies at 155 or Phillies run line. Maybe, hey, there you go. That comes under 150. Maybe do Phillies run line. Phillies run line comes in under my own personal threshold of under minus 150. So, yeah, do the Phillies run line. Get to yourself plus 1.5. And if Alcantara is not absolutely perfect, you should go to an easy cash. So, Phillies run line for me. Braves and Nationals, over under of 9.5. Braves minus 165. Nationals plus 140. Obviously, I like the F5 over, so I like the full game over. I like the F5 over more, obviously. And if you're going to pick a winner, obviously you're taking Braves run line. I mean, they've just owned Corbin. They've absolutely owned Corbin. So that's kind of a no-brainer game right there. Red Sox and Yankees. We got Eovaldi, Montgomery. I kind of just talked about that when Brian asked about the Yankees. I would take the Red Sox run line, plus 145. The only maybe concern is Eovaldi coming off the injury list, but you know how these guys are. They're ready when they come. They do their rehab starts, and he'll be ready to go. So I wouldn't have any issues taking Red Sox. A touch of a concern, but no real issues. So just given how Eovaldi's kind of handled the Yankees and Montgomery's been hit by the Red Sox, yeah, Red Sox money line for me at plus 145. Royals and Blue Jays up next. The sportsbooks cleaned up last night. I mean, cleaned up. When the Royals took down the Blue Jays, everybody was on the Blue Jays in some capacity. I've still never seen a run line at minus 190, which is what I saw at one point yesterday. I've never seen that. The money line minus 4. I think I saw like minus 415 at one point. I've never seen anything above minus 400. They should lose. I mean, obviously they should have lost last night. They've got key players that couldn't make the trip to Toronto, not just role players, key guys. So it's Blue Jays. But how can you play the run line? Even that's above my own personal threshold. It's minus 165 on the run line. So I guess they're just a parlay piece. Just put the Blue Jays in a money line parlay and hope they're cool. Whenever you do something money line parlay, just do the money line. Don't try and push it with the run line. So, but you do get Alek Manoah, so that should certainly help you. Whatever happens in that game, Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks is the real play in that game. Orioles and Rays are up next with an over-under of 7.5. Orioles plus 110, Rays minus 130. The Orioles are going to cool off here. The Rays are a good team. Obviously, they just swept the Red Sox. This is a class up for the Orioles in terms of stepping up in an opponent. Rays are just really stinking good. Over-under, again, 7.5. Just take the Rays at minus 130. They're gonna win the series. Probably win tonight. I would say they probably win tonight. I don't know the starters Saturday or Sunday. We can kind of look that up. But, yeah, I would take the Rays. They're the better team. The Orioles are going to get cooled off during this series. Tigers and Guardians up next with an over-under of 8.5. Tigers are at plus 160. Guardians are at minus 190. I mean, it's definitely Guardians run line. Plesac would scare me a little bit, but the Tigers are back to just not hitting right-handers, right? We back the Tigers against left-handers. They just struggle against right-handers. So, yeah, Plesac and the Guardians on the run line for me at plus 115. Mariners and Rangers. Now we do have a Rangers starter. That was not when I was doing my research last night or finishing up the research this morning. It looks like we got Matt Bush versus Robbie Ray. I'm expecting good things from the Rangers, obviously. Get the Rangers at plus 135. Mariners at minus 155. Again, with an over-under of 8. They're going to give you the Rangers plus 1 1.5 runs at minus 130. Not a bad look. Not a bad look. I don't know too much about Matt Bush off the top of my head, so like I said, he wasn't an announced starter when I was doing research last night and this morning, so I don't know, tough for me to kind of talk about that. I don't know too much about Matt Bush. Not a name that jumps out at me in terms of being familiar with him. So White Sox and Twins are up next with an over-under of 9. White Sox plus 120, Twins minus 140. What have I been saying about this series? And what do I say about some series? Don't try and figure out a winner. Just take the over. Just take the over. Just take the over in White Sox Twins. You guys see what happened last night? They did the benches clear at the end of that game. Isn't that the most, I don't want to cuss on YouTube, but grown men coming out of a dugout and pushing each other. Ain't nobody, 50 guys on the field, nobody's got an intention of getting in a fight, but they all want to act like they got an intention of getting in a fight. Bunch of wusses. Just take the over. Who cares who wins the game? I think the over will be an easy cash, just like it was yesterday. Athletics and Astros, Urban and Urquidy, over under 8. Athletics plus 170, Astros minus 200. Astros run line plus 105, pretty easy call right there. Reds and Cardinals, you got over under of 9. Reds plus 130, Cardinals minus 150. Let's see. Man, the Reds getting 2 or 3 from New York. That about surprised, I think, most people. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Let's see. That's a tough one. Man, Hunter Green's gonna mow through some Cardinals. They've cooled off in batting versus right-handers. That's a tough one. Reds have kind of, obviously they're playing good baseball, knocking off the Yankees 2 or 3 and getting after their top-ranked bullpen in the majors. I will say under 9. That's a lot of runs. I'm going under 9. Under 9. That's a tough game right there. Pirates and Rockies up next. Thought I'd be on this game. Rockies aren't still quite hitting left-handers. They got a lot of help from Snell yesterday. He walked 6 batters. Like, if you just look at that score yesterday, you assume the Rockies hit Snell. He, for whatever reason, was just letting people get on base on free passes. They didn't rock Snell like you would have thought if you just look at the box score. So they're still decent against left-handers, but not as we've been tailing them this season, being hot and being one of the best teams against left-handers. That being said, they could wake up at any moment because they've been good most of the season versus left-handers. So I would take the Rockies. I would take the Rockies on the run line at plus 125. Dodgers and Angels. Obviously, I like the Dodgers. They're in my free roll money line parlay. They're going against the Angels. Angels are just a bad team, simply put. Diamondbacks and Padres up next. I would be on the Padres. Home and away splits. Bumgarner's an absolute bum. That over-under is at 7.5. That probably goes over. Diamondbacks may not get much. They definitely have cooled off versus right-handers. Darvish is so strong at home. Just do the Padres on the run line. I don't try and figure out if it'll go over or under. That's when we can try and pick a winner. We can pick a winner in that game. We can say that the Padres will win that game, and I think they'll also cover the run line at plus 115. Then the last game is Brewers-Giants. Just like I said yesterday, take the Brewers. Just like I put them in my free roll money line parlay, Brewers have massive advantages. The Giants still are not hitting right-handers. They're still 29th in the league. Even after yesterday's game, they stayed 29th and are still below the Mendoza line in terms of their batting average versus right-handers. Woodruff is a drop-off from Burns, but not a huge drop-off from Burns. A drop-off, but not that big. And Alex Wood is nowhere near Carlos Rodon, so you would think that the Brewers would have more success against Wood than they did Rodon. Brewers money line. I think that's pretty an easy call right there. So that's how we'll do it right there. We'll see if we've got any of these comments, and then the Highline podcast will be live, Brian. Give me 5 minutes after this just to kind of create the event, and then I'm going to roll right on into the Highline podcast where we'll talk about the ambetter 301. And then we got Eric saying, any good Nerfies today? Yes. Ask the question every day, my man. Obviously, I gave out 2 Nerfies. What was it? 2 days ago, so it's an angle I research every single day. There's 2 Nerfies that I thought were good. Obviously, I didn't bet them. You can only have but so many cards on or plays on your card. The obvious one is Phillies Marlins. You don't need me to tell you that one. The other one I actually like. The other one I think is better because the price I saw was minus 106 over at Barstools, which fantastic price. I don't know if it's still minus 106. It was minus 106 at around 9 or so this morning. Is Blue Jays Royals. Blue Jays Royals is a good one. You expect Alek Manoah to, silence it. They're missing key bats, not just bats. They're missing key bats. And the Blue Jays, for whatever reason, are struggling. And we've taken Zach Greinke before in Nerfies. He's got great first inning numbers. He's got really good first inning numbers. So I thought, besides the obvious one of Phillies Marlins, that was the next best, or maybe the best. I mean, it's hard to say it's better than Alcantara and Gibson, but yeah, that's a good one. I think that. I was so close to adding that to the card, but at some point, you just can't go too crazy, with all the volume. You gotta settle it down a little bit. So there they are, Eric. If you decide to bet either one of those, good luck, my man. I hope they cash for you, obviously. So, all right, I think that's how we'll do it today, fellas. Any other questions? I'll give it a couple more minutes. I am getting enjoyment out of these live. I've asked every day if you guys would prefer the daily show to be live, because I'll revert back to a daily show in the morning, payoff pitch in the afternoon with the hockey squirrel. I'm leaning pretty strongly to just start doing these live. I got some cool animation in the works to kind of roll out maybe starting next week. I'm going to play with it over this weekend. So I'm excited for kind of more of the entertainment. I still want to, giving out winning bets will always remain priority, but when you don't give out winning bets and you got a bad day, we want to sit there and be able to entertain people as well and make quality content. So I think we got some good things coming down the pipes to make these shows a little bit more entertaining than maybe what they are now. So that's that. All right, let's go. Eric says, let's get this cash today. And Brian's got the fist pound. I agree with you, Brian. All right, guys, that's how we'll do it. I'm going to go ahead and take about a 5-minute break. If you're interested in NASCAR, obviously you've got those 3 plays coming off a nice 4-in-1 week. Coming off a nice 4-in-1 week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Expecting these 3 to cash. We'll see what happens. Obviously, more times than not, when you lose a NASCAR head-to-head bet, it's due to the mechanic. The car wets the bed or the guy gets in an accident more times than not. So I think if we stay out of trouble, if we stay out of car trouble, I think we'll go a nice 3-0 this weekend. So I'll, of course, talk about those 3 bets on the Highline podcast. We'll talk about the ambetter 301. We'll do that here in the next about 5 minutes. If you don't want to join me on that, hey, go enjoy your Friday. You guys know what it is. It's money-making weekend, baby. Let's do it. Enjoy it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for the comments. We'll see you back here on Monday. Have a good weekend, fellas.